Detroit Lions. Oh, baby, that is big time stuff. Touchdown, 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 Detroit Lions. Oh, baby, 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 baby.
Yes. What is going on, everybody? It's your boy Nick Harkson here with Touchdown Detroit Lions over on Syndicate Sports Detroit. How's everybody doing? I see we got some people in the comments already. What's going on, Braylon? What's going on, Fresh and Fly? Kille, good to see you guys. Yes, good to be back. We got the Crazy Dude 12 in the chat as well. I'm a crazy dude myself, so no, but it's good to be back here on this Tuesday. I do want to address one thing before we get started. There was a tragedy yesterday, and we all know about it. The shooting at the Catholic schools. Thoughts and prayers go out to the families affected by that. A lot of the times I would cancel a show if if something like this happens. But today I just want to, say we're thinking about you, all that. And I think that, sometimes we need some distractions to get away from all that. So I'm going to continue to do my show today. But I do want to say that was a tragedy. And, just so sorry to the families involved with that. But all right, now that that's been said, it is time for some Lions football. Yes, I do see some comments already going on. We're going to get into those for sure. John Peterson, go Lions, love it. Braylon, yes, we're going to talk about that. All right, we're going to talk about that. So let's talk about some other things first while we're letting people join. We don't have as much news as we've had the past few weeks with all the free agency signings and whatnot, but we do have some news. We did sign a few more people, and we brought some people back. The first one I'm going to talk about is Jalen Reeves-Maybin. So glad to have this guy back in the building, and he's going to help us out on special teams, and definitely with depth at linebacker. And, before he parted ways with the Lions, he was here when Dan Campbell first arrived and Brad Holmes, and Dan Campbell was raving about Jalen Reeves-Maybin, and, then he ended up with the Texans, but now he's back with the Lions, and I'm glad to see him here. He's going to be here with with us under a new regime than when he entered. I'm talking about he was drafted by Fatty P, Matt Patricia, and them, but, just glad to have him back. And he's also reuniting with some former college teammates, his Tennessee teammates. I'm talking about Emmanuel Mosley and Cam Sutton. And actually, Mosley said that Dan Campbell talking about Jalen Reeves-Maybin is a reason why he signed with the Lions. Just Dan Campbell showing so much praise for his old teammate. It brought him closer to coming to the Lions. And, of course, we signed him for a year. So it's good to see those guys all back together. It's a reunion. They're in Tennessee together, or they were in Tennessee together. Now they're in Detroit. So that's cool to reunite those teammates, and that the way that Dan Campbell talked about Jalen Reeves made it so we could sign one of these guys. That's pretty cool. Another signing that we got was our backup quarterback. We brought him back, Nate Sudfeld. And this one is kind of a head scratcher to me. I'm not going to lie. I know a priority for us this offseason was to go out and get a backup quarterback. Something different from Nate Sudfeld is what I was thinking, right? And I still think that's the plan. Even though we signed him, I still think we're going to go and address this in the draft. You saw that the Lions put in a proposal to have 3 quarterbacks in case one gets injured. They kind of put that to the back burner. They're leaving it on the table just because they need more clarity on if they're going to use that as a practice squad player or if they have to be on the 53-man roster. That happened today. But, it's not fully approved yet. Everything else that the Lions proposed, as well as rule changes, did not get approved. Just letting you know that while we're here. But, I think maybe they signed Sudfeld in hopes that the 3 quarterback rule would go through, and it might still. They're leaving it on the table. But I still don't – this does not take us out of drafting a quarterback. And we'll get more into the draft later. But, I'm glad. I am glad that we brought Sudfeld back. He's kind of like a junior Goff to me. I'm not going to lie. They have the same mannerisms. Sometimes you'll catch them on the sideline. They're sitting there with the same look on their face, all that. So to me, it's Goff and Goff Jr. when Sudfeld's there. And like I said, he was there as a filler last year, kind of when Blau and Boyle didn't work out. It was a last-minute thing. But I think that, he probably did well in practice, well enough for us to bring him back. But I still think that we're going to address that backup quarterback position in the draft. And we will get more into that, just like I said. All right, but since we're talking about quarterback, I am going to address something that we've all been talking about. And I see more people hopping in the comments. I will get to your guys' comments, I promise you. But what's up, everybody coming in? I just want to say that one more time. I appreciate you guys coming back. I'm here every Tuesday. Touchdown Detroit Lions, 5 p.m. Detroit time. Anyways, there have been rumors, and hopefully these are being squashed today with Dan Campbell's little presser, but a lot of people have been seeing that Lamar Jackson, and this is true, he's asked for a trade from the Ravens, and they're putting the Lions as a top team to land him or just want a best fit for him. And, I'll touch on it before I get into Dan Campbell's comments, but I personally never really wanted Lamar to come here. I think that he's got talent out of this world. I think that he could help the offense, but I think that Goff knows this offense. He's been doing well. He's proven that he should be here. And Dan Campbell agrees. He said in his presser today, we got a quarterback in Goff, and when you have a quarterback, you want to keep him around. Pretty much said that Lamar Jackson is talented, but we got our quarterback and we're good to go. And I agree with Dan Campbell. If Lamar were to get traded here, I think he brings a lot of baggage with him. He's got a pretty big ego. He would want a lot of money. I just don't think it's worth it anyways. I think that he's been injured quite a bit the last 2 years. His talent is, like I said, is unmatchable. But how much longer is he going to last in this league with his style of play? I feel like if we got Lamar Jackson on our team, we'd have to draft a quarterback this year anyways to replace him in 2 years just because of his style of play. I think that, he's great. He brings a whole different dynamic to your offense because he can run like a running back can. And, he could have got us out of different situations that Goff couldn't have. But I think we have a good thing right now with Goff and Ben Johnson. So I am glad that Dan Campbell emphasized that, we got our quarterback. This is our guy. We're moving forward with him. And I hope it stays that way. You never know. This could all be just smoke and mirrors, and then we go out and trade for Lamar. But I don't think that that's going to happen, and I'm happy about that. What do you guys think? You guys think that we should trade for Lamar Jackson? I know that his talent is out of this world, but I like Goff on our team. But I want to know what you guys think. Jackson or Goff on the Lions? Lamar is going to be a lot of money. Goff might ask for a lot of money in a few years as well. But we got a good thing going, I think. I'm going to look right here. I'm going to look right here into the comments. I see you guys going off a little bit. Lions Mania says no. Braylon Dennis says we don't need Lamar Jackson. And look it, we're on the same page. I like it. I think the Lions should draft Tyree Wilson. Okay, hold on, Lions Mania. We're going to get into the draft. We're going to get into the draft later. I shouldn't have read that comment right then and there, but I was just going through the comments. What's up, Mary Peterson? And what's up, Alex and Jet? How you guys doing? Glad to see you guys here watching this episode. I love you guys. All right, so hold on. Lion King, Lamar, yes. So we do have some contradicting point of views here. And, I did see a few people say trade the 18th pick and Jared Goff and potentially, a later pick for Lamar Jackson, but then we're going to have to pay him a lot more money as well. So I see Fresh and Fly coming in saying, why trade 2 first and overpay a QB when you can just draft your own for cheap? That's what I'm saying as well. I think that, there are quarterbacks in this draft. If you want to get your quarterback of the future, go ahead and draft him this year. I think that we might do that at 6, and a lot of people might be mad, but we got to trust the process. That's not what I would pick, but I think that we might go that way. Now, I would rather go that way than to trade Goff away for Lamar, because like I've been saying, we got a good thing going with Goff. He knows the offense. He's in now. He's feeling comfortable. I think he's earned his spot. He showed that he's gritty, that, he belongs on the Detroit Lions. He earned his way. His first year there, it was not good. A lot of people were calling for his head, saying, get out of here. But you know what? He battled through adversity, and he showed that he can really run this offense and has proven that he can win games with this team. And a lot of people are like, well, can he win a last-minute game? Can he do what Stafford did, go down and drive the team to a game with a game-winning drive in the last 2 minutes? And the answer is yes, because that's how we got our first win under him. And I think that if it came down to it, we're going to have the weapons around him. I think that he can do it again in a high pressure situation against better teams. I think Goff's our guy. Dan Campbell believes it. I think that Brad Holmes believes it. Brad Holmes, the guy who was there with the Rams, he's been there with Goff. So I think that it was all set up. It's all been a plan for years, and getting Goff, I'm really thinking that Brad Holmes wants him as the franchise guy, or at least for the next few years. I'm going to look into these comments right here. I see some more coming in as we're talking about that. Goff can win with us, and he's cheaper. I still like Goff more. I'm with you, Lions Mania. Braylon, here we go. Lamar will cripple this team financially. Not only financially. All right. I know that the Ravens, a lot of the teammates liked him. But I think I did say he brings an ego. And I think that, I didn't see Lamar very happy a lot of the times on the sideline, even when the Ravens were a great team. It looked like he was just always down and out. And I'm not saying you need to be a happy player to play in this league and be successful, but I don't want a Debbie Downer on my team either, and somebody who's going to go against the coaches and the whole staff when they're not being treated right. And I think that eventually, that's going to follow Lamar. I think that, he's a great player. I just think he's got an ego out of this world, just like his talent. And that's just how I see him. When things don't work out, he's going to blame somebody else. And that's a player that we don't need. So here we go. Back into the comments. Who are some all right, yeah. We're talking about, here we go. We're getting into some draft talk and all this. We're going to get into that. Fearless. Lamar has never had a losing record. He has the highest winning percentage and will establish winning culture. He does. He's proven to be a winner, but at the same time, does his attitude reflect winning? He's still, I know the ultimate goal is a Super Bowl, but at the same time, you're in the NFL. That's one of the hardest things to do. Very few people in life accomplish winning a Super Bowl. I'm not in the NFL. I'll never do it. And I know that mentality to get that Super Bowl, that's awesome. Lamar brings wins. It's proven. You're right, Fearless. I also don't want somebody to come in and ruin the culture because they think that they're better than what we got going on. And I'm not saying he would do that. I'm just nervous that he would. So I think we're better off just staying away from it. That's just how I feel. I think Lamar's talent is great, but I think it was solidified today with Dan Campbell's comments that we got our quarterback and we're moving on. So I'm going to move on until something happens, and I don't think it's going to happen. So, but I could be wrong. And I know some of you guys hope that I am, but I already think that we got a good thing going. We could also, Anthony Richardson is out there. He's a guy who can run and throw and do all that. If we draft him, then you got a way younger Lamar Jackson who could potentially be better that we could mentor for the next few years. That's all I'm saying. Don't overpay a guy. That's just where I stand. That's just where I stand. I see a few more. Yeah. Who's your guy? Oh, we talking Lamar. Yes, we are. Lamar will take targets away from our receivers. That's another thing. So that's, I know we're talking a lot about Lamar Jackson right now, and I got plenty more to talk about, but we're early into the episode, so why not, I do think that sometimes he runs around a little more than he should when guys are hitting, their quick routes. You got to hit them right away, and I know he's good at that too, okay? So I'm not trying to take away from his ability, but I do think sometimes, he misses the first read, and he goes and he's like, okay, I'm going to scramble around a little bit more. I'm not sure it'll work out great for us with JMO. It could, but, I like what we got going on. I'm going to stop hating on Lamar because I'm not really trying to hate. He's a great football player. He's a great quarterback. I just don't want him on the Lions personally. But if we do, for some reason, go and get him, he's going to have my 100% support. Don't get me wrong. I just like what we're doing right now. And if we're going to get a different quarterback, why not get one in the draft and get him ready for the future and have Goff mentor him for the next few years. What I'm pretty much trying to say, but you know what? I love the conversation in the comments here. I'm originally from Louisville, where Lamar played college ball. He's far from arrogant. Okay. He's just really laid back with a dry demeanor. And I don't know him like that. So it's that's definitely me just seeing him on the sidelines, and it's a bad opinion of mine apparently. And I never, I like his talent. I like what he's done. I don't know why I feel this way. I just do, and I like the mentality that we have in Detroit right now. I don't think he would completely come in and ruin it, but I think that he would question things, and if things didn't go his way is what I'm saying. But good point. Way to point that out. And that's something I'm not from Louisville. I didn't watch all of his games in Louisville. I did watch him play some college ball. It seemed like he was a lot more passionate back then too, and even his first few years in the league. So maybe, it's just something with the Ravens that he doesn't like this last few years, obviously, because he wants to go somewhere else. So, I could just be in harsh on the guy. So way to point that out. I like that different perspective. All right. Here we go. I'm going to move on because we could talk Lamar all day. But, I talked about Jared Goff. I think we're going to be fine. Jared Goff has proven he can run this offense. Him and Ben Johnson, another year together, I think is going to work out great. I've said this before. Goff does better his second year in systems. He was not very good his first year with the Lions. This second year, he was much better, but it was still his first year with Ben Johnson. So I think that he is going to improve even more. I think he's going to get more comfortable next year with Ben Johnson calling the offense. I know that we lost Shark, and I'll touch on that real quick. I wanted us to re-sign Shark, but unfortunately, he's going to Carolina. But at the same time, we just found out that he was injured with us. We already knew that, but he's going to have some ankle surgery. So maybe that's why we also didn't offer him a better deal than Carolina, or maybe he just wanted to go to Carolina to move on. But at the same time, he's got to have ankle surgery. So I'm not that upset that we're moving on from him. And what this all means to me is that it's JMO season. It is time for the man, Jameson Williams, to step it up. And I think, now that we know that Jameson Williams is coming in to this season fully healthy, he's ready to go. Ben Johnson will have a lot more plays set up just for JMO to succeed. We'll be working the offense a little bit more around him. And I think it's going to work out. Last year, they didn't know when JMO was going to come back. And so they didn't really have a lot of plans for him in the offense. I'm sure they did, but they didn't have a lot of time to prepare for when he was going to come back, and like they do this year. Like right now, Ben Johnson can make a up a ton of plays for J-Mo. And we can be ready to roll week 1. And, a lot of fans I've been seeing as well are not happy with what Jameson Williams has been doing on social media, at least in the offseason. He's posting a lot of videos and pictures with his friends instead of workout videos. We all want to see him working out and working hard. But I do trust that he is putting in the work. I know that he has a huge passion for this game. Brad Holmes said that. And he also said that he expects huge things from J-Mo this year. So we know they're making plans for Jameson Williams to succeed. And I hope that it pulls through. A lot of people were talking about he's little, all that. But the guy has blazing speed. It's not going to matter if he gets past everybody. And Barry Sanders, the GOAT, Barry Sanders even chimed in and said that this guy, he has incredible talent and he's excited to see him play, and he hopes that Goff is ready to unleash some bombs because, I really hope Jameson Williams goes off this year, and I think that he's set up for a breakout year. I'm going to go there. I'm going to say Jameson Williams is going to have a breakout year, and he's going to become one of the top young wide receivers in the NFC. Just imagine, him and Amon-Ra St. Brown should be one of the top duos, especially in the NFC North, but in all of the NFC and hopefully all the NFL. His speed is out of this world. If him and Goff can work together this offseason like they should, Jameson Williams, Goff, if you're listening, get together. Do the workout that you did with all the receivers in California last year, but invite Jameson Williams. I know that you are. J-Mo, accept the invite. And go out there and get with your quarterback. Let's get that chemistry down, and let's just get it going right off the bat. I want to see some 90-yard touchdowns. I know that's crazy. But I really do think that Jameson Williams has the talent to really be a star in this league. And he needs to have a breakout season this year, especially since Shark is gone. Now, I do think that we could address, losing Shark in a few different ways through the draft. There's a few guys still in free agency that we could go and help. I think Josh Reynolds, still a solid guy over there. But it's J-Mo and Amon-Ra time. And I think they're going to give him all the opportunity in the world to be that guy. So you better come through, J-Mo, is all I got to say. I'm seeing the comments going off right now. I'm going to look to see what you guys are saying. And let's see what's going on. Here we go. We need a DJ Shark replacement in the draft. We'll talk about it. I'm with you. All right. How many yards are you expecting J-Mo to reach next year? I'm expecting at least 900 to 1,000. I'm on the same path. And I think he's going to, I'm not talking about 1,000-yard or even a 500-yard rushing year, but I think we're going to use him in the run game like we did that one play where we did a little end around. He got 41 yards. We're going to be able to use him in a bunch of different ways, but I do expect 1,000 all-purpose yards, 1,000 receiving yards for sure would be amazing. He's got so much speed. He can break away. We can get some bombs to him. Him and Jared Goff are definitely going to have to get together this offseason, though, to make that chemistry work. All right. Here we go. Yeah, 1,000-yard season for J-Mo. He agrees. He's 6'2". It's all good. He's got speed out of the world. And, 6'2" is big, or, it's tall. I was talking about a lot of people think that he's like, not built. Like, he's obviously not a Metcalf, but a lot of people think he's skinny. I'm not saying that he's small as far as height. I'm saying that he's skinny, but I don't think that matters. We've seen plenty of skinny receivers go out there and kill it. Randy Moss was a skinny receiver. Deshaun Jackson. I think he's gonna be fine. All right, J-Mo will have a breakout year if we give him a solid number 2 opposite of him. If not, he'll struggle because of double teams. All right. Amon-Ra's in the slot for sure. I think that even if I do think that we will address this in the draft, and I'll get there here in a second. But I agree, we do need another solid number 2. Reynolds isn't that guy, if you ask me. He's not bad, but he's not your number 2 wide receiver. Amon-Ra St. Brown should attract enough attention in the slot, But if J-Mo's getting double teamed, that just means, like I said, the sun god's going to go off. And J-Mo will get his shots. But let's get into it. We're going to go draft. We're there. It's time. It's time. Draft time. And it's less than a month, people. It's actually a month away. So let's do this. I'm excited for the draft. It's coming up. Brad Holmes is a draft guru, and let's hope that he stays that way. Mel Kiper Jr. gave him an A, and even said that he had an A+ on drafting so far, which is crazy. So shout out to Brad Holmes for that. You know what I mean? But yeah, let's get into some draft talk. I personally think that now, since Shark is not on our team, we should draft another young wide receiver, a crazy talent that could be, an impact right away, day one. I would like to get one at 18 if we could. And we're going to get into some mock drafts that I saw. I don't take these by heart. A lot of you guys, I've seen that. I posted a little short talking about mock drafts, and you guys, he takes mock drafts too much to heart. No, I don't. I'm just saying they're interesting to talk about. But, yeah, I think picking up a wide receiver in the draft would be very beneficial. And let's get into it. I'm going to talk about the wide receiver, once I talk about one of these mock drafts, because it lines up perfectly. So please bear with me, people. But I just saw some mock drafts recently, and one by Mel Kiper. We've all seen this one. He has us taking Jalen Carter at 6. And then the tight end Myers from Notre Dame at 18. Now, let's talk about Carter at 6 first. I think I'm okay with Carter. I'm not sure it's going to happen, but we did host him on a visit. So, I do think that they're definitely doing their homework. So if it does happen, it means that we're confident that we can, squash all those bad character issues. And so the Lions are doing their homework right now. Obviously, the guy's got talent. He was projected number 1. I've said this before when the Bears were picking first. And a lot of the guys still see him as the best overall talent in the draft. But do we take him because of the character issues? Well, the Lions are doing their homework. So if we do, trust the process. Don't get mad. We should be able to handle that. And if we can't, then we're not going to draft him, is what it looks like. So if we don't get him, it's because we feel that he does have bad character issues and that he fell off and he got sloppy and slow, and we're not going to draft him. But if we draft him, don't get mad, people. The Lions can correct this. Now, 18 tight end, get out of here. Get out of here. Don't want it. There's Myers, you're a good tight end, but I think that there is also going to be good tight ends that we can get outside of the first round. At the same time, Dan Campbell, head coach, former tight end. We got a few former tight ends on the staff. So if we do draft a tight end in the first round, I won't be shocked, but I don't want it to happen because I do feel there's better talent. Not better talent, but good enough talent to get in a round outside of the first round. Now, check this out. I saw 2 CBS mock drafts, which both kind of threw me off guard. And if you saw these, you might be baffled as well. But the first one I saw was by Ryan Wilson. And he has us taking Lucas Van Ness, edge, out of Iowa at 6. I personally think that we could get Lucas Van Ness at 18. I don't think he's a bad player. I think he's got potential there. He does look like a Dan Campbell style guy. But I think we can get him at 18. But if he's your guy, if he's the guy that you think fits the culture and he's the one that you want, go get him at 6. But I personally think he would drop to 18. I'm no draft guru. I don't know. But I think we can get him at 18. And then he has us he has us trading away our 18th pick to the Los Angeles Rams, who don't even have a first-round pick. So definitely disagree there. I would not do that. I would 100% not trade away our 18th pick to another team who doesn't even have a first-round pick. That's insane to me. I know that we got their second and their third in that, but Not with it. All right. The second mock draft that I saw was from Chris Trapasso, and this is also of CBS Sports. And he has us loading up on offense, but he also has us trading back. He has us trading the 6th pick to the Washington Commanders, and we're moving back to 16. But we're taking Quentin Johnson, wide receiver out of TCU, and at 18, Bijan Robinson, the running back out of Texas, of course. Now, I wouldn't want to trade back that far, but I really don't mind these picks. Like I was just talking about, I think it would be a good move to get a good wide receiver to put over there at number 2 next to JMO, or potentially take the number 1 spot, depending on what happens. But Quentin Johnson and Bijan Robinson could be day one impact players on this offense, and they would make the offense that much more potent. Now, I know it kind of seems unnecessary, but imagine this. Quentin Johnson, Jamison Williams, Amon-Ra St. Brown lined up there at receiver. Then we got Monty, Bijan, and Swifty at running back. That's just lethal right there. Sorry, Swifty, you're kind of going to third running back maybe. I'm wearing your jersey today. But that just might be a scenario, and I wouldn't be mad at it, especially with what we did in free agency recently. Before we get into that, I'm going to look into the comments. I see you guys going off. Here we go. I know defense is what we need. In your opinion, do you think we are good on offense? So right there, I think that we do need to address another wide receiver. Defense got beefed up a little bit in free agency, but I still feel with the draft, with one of our first 2 picks in the first round, we need to go defense with one of them. I am not going to be mad if we beef up the offense at all, because I do think there's still help that we need to have there. Offensive line needs to be addressed. We lost Evan Brown. If he would have stayed, I think we're good. I know that Brad Holmes just talked about Vaitai, saying he's in a good place, but he did just have back surgery. So I think that we need to go in the draft and address a young lineman as well. And also receiver, I wouldn't mind. So yes, I think the offense is in a good place, but I think it can definitely be better. Just to answer that question right there. What are some late round big body wide receivers we can pick similar to how we did with St. Brown? I haven't studied the late round guys enough yet, and I should really start doing that because we're a month away. So that's a good question that I will answer for you next week. I'm going to dig into the wide receivers now that I feel like that's a need for us. So great question there, Fresh and Fly. I'm sorry I don't have the answer today, but come back next Tuesday. I'm going to analyze these wide receivers, and we're going to go all over it. If you got a suggestion right now, let's talk about it. But my fault for not knowing the wide receiver class as good as I should, but I will get into that next week for sure. Way to give me a topic to bring up. Alrighty. Mike T today had Wilson at 6, Carter at 18 following the Lions. I did see that too. I was about to get into that. I think that's very interesting, and I would be all for it. I think that, we are doing our homework on Carter, like I said, and he could drop to 18 for sure because a lot of the people think he has character issues. Tyree Wilson, great looking player, has all the intangibles, long arms, got the speed, can get through the line real quick, would love it at 6, and Carter at 18, D-line is set to go, especially with the signings that we made. And you know what? Let's get into it. The Brad Holmes mentioned as well, when we got C.J. Gardner-Johnson, his family was sleeping, and Brad Holmes got so hyped that he woke up his family. And I love this because I think that speaks volumes of Brad Holmes, just of how passionate he is about this organization and how much he wants to see us succeed. I would not trade in anybody else for what we got right now at GM and Brad Holmes and at coach and Dan Campbell. I think Sheila did a great job finding these guys. I think she needs a round of applause for that and for sticking by these guys while things were bad, because we see the direction we're moving in right now. And it's very promising. A lot of the people said, sell the team. Fords can never do it. Sheila's breaking that mold. and I hope that the team continues to, prove everybody wrong about the Fords being bad owners. The past ones were definitely. I'm not going to disagree with that. But Sheila, I think, has got this team, the organization, everybody on the right direction, because Brad Holmes is the man, and so is Dan Campbell. So shout out to all of them for that. But yeah, I want to talk a little bit more news since free agency is not over and we freed up some more space. Dan Campbell talked about this today. He said they're in the running for Calais Campbell, a Pro Bowler, a 6-time Pro Bowler, defensive tackle. This guy's a beast. I know that he's 36 years old, but I think he would be a great addition to this team right now. What do you guys think? Do you think we should go out and get 36-year-old Campbell from the Ravens? He played for the Jaguars as well. This guy, 6-time Pro Bowler, he's proven in the league. The guy's a beast. To me, I don't care if he's 36. Bring him in. He's done great. He was good last year. He could really teach our young guys a thing or two of how to be a great defensive lineman in the NFL. I don't think it hurts to bring in a veteran who's going to play. Sorry, Brockers. I think you were supposed to be that guy. You're a good coach, but this guy could really come in and mentor our young guys to become much better players in the NFL, and I don't think it's a bad move. We freed up some space. Let's go. Let's bring him in. It's only going to help us out on defense, and that's just how I feel. I want to see how you guys feel. I want him here. Brad, go get him. Bring him to Detroit. Bring him in. I see a yes. I'm with you guys. I think it's a great move. 36 to a lot of people is old in the NFL, but this guy is breaking that, he's breaking the barrier. Just like Tom Brady went to be older as a quarterback and he did well. I think this guy can still play at a high level at the age of 36. So bring him in. Teach our young guys. Let's get some more beasts on this defense, and let's beef it up to another winning season. And I want to see us in the playoffs this year. That's what I'm talking about. I'm down with Campbell, honestly. This is in the comments here. I see Brad doing the same thing, being excited if Carter is there at pick 6. Yeah, we're talking about Carter at pick 6. It's tough to pass on him at 6 because you don't know if he's going to get to you at 18. So, but I think that, if you bring in a guy like Campbell and then you bring in Carter in the draft, Campbell's going to be a great guy to mentor Carter. He will teach him the right way. Campbell is a good guy. He goes out there, he puts his head down, he works hard, and he's, great outside of the NFL as well. So he could really help, Carter if we did draft him. All righty. Only on a 1 to 2 year contract, John Peterson. Yes, agreed. The age is a factor. 2-year max is what I would say. Won't be mad at a 2-year contract, but bring him in. I want it. Let's see it happen. Come on, Brad. Keep cooking, baby. Let's go. All right. How many DNs do we need? Well, that's a good question because we are keeping Charles Harris and Romeo Okwara, and we already have, of course, the problem Houston and it's the second pick overall last year, but our number 1 pick overall, who's a beast. We all know him. We all love him. Hutch. The guy's great. I don't know how many more we need, but I don't think it would be a bad idea to bring another one in because I don't know how much longer Okwara and Charles Harris will even be there. So go out and get your guy right now. Have him contribute to the defensive line. It never hurts to have that much depth there. We've seen guys go down. We've seen multiple guys go down in the game. So to have great depth on the line, I think is key. You win it and you lose it in the trenches. Go out there and get another guy. That's how I feel. All right. We can move on. Oh, here we go. Actually, thoughts on Cansey. I would rather take him over Carter personally at 18, of course. I think that's not a bad move either. If we do decide to pass on Jalen Carter, I hope Cansey is there at 18. because I think they have been comparing him to kind of an Aaron Donald type. And we all know what Brad Holmes is famous for. That's going out there and scouting Aaron Donald and telling the Rams to bring him in. So would not be mad with that scenario either. As long as if we could get one of those two guys, I will be happy. That's where I stand. All right, guys. I got a few more things to talk about. But if you have any questions for me, might as well get them into me now so I can get them in before the end of the episode, because I have one more thing to talk about before the end of the episode, unless you have questions for me. Let me take a drink real quick. I see Cansey is cool with me. Me too. But yes, we've got some news, some season news, some preseason news that you probably all saw today. We have joint practices with the Giants prior to week 1 of the preseason this year. And I think it's great. I'm glad that we have the Giants this year, not the Colts like we did last year. I know that we had a great joint practice with the Colts, but I like practicing against the Giants prior to preseason, because prior to week 1 preseason, just because the Giants are a playoff team. They have a lot more talent. They're going to be competitive. We got iron sharpens iron. We got to play the best to be the best. And I love that I know that the Giants aren't the best, but we're both up-and-coming teams. We're both, Dable, he's a great coach. Dan Campbell's a great coach. I think this is a good move right here for the Lions to be practicing against the Giants before week 1 of the preseason. Now, I know that reports did come out that the NFL wanted the teams to wait until week 2 or week 3 to do joint practices, but the Giants and Lions already made these plans ahead of time before the NFL announced that. So it's going down before week 1, and I'm happy about it. Like I said, iron sharpens iron. Let's go. Let's get it. Would love to see, to practice against a good running back like Saquon Barkley. They got Darren Waller now. They got a good defense. So it's good to see us going up against a good team for joint practices this year. All righty, I'm going to go into the comments now, and then I'm going to get out of here. But it's been great hanging with you guys today. I love all the conversation. Like I said, I'm here every single Tuesday, 5 p.m. Detroit time, 4 p.m. Midwest, 2 p.m. West Coast. But here we go. Lions need better depth at all positions. You're right. And in the draft, this is another thing I want to touch on. The way that we handled free agency this year, we're set up for another successful draft. We can pretty much go anywhere, and I'm going to be happy with it, unless you draft like 3 quarterbacks with your first 3 picks. Then it's like, what the heck are you doing? Or 3 the same position. But, I would be happy with, even at the first pick, we get another corner, even though we got a lot of D-back help in free agency. We don't know how many of those guys are going to be around in years to come. CJ Gardner's on a 1-year deal. Mosley's on a 1-year deal. Okuda, his contract's up after this year. We got some guys that are going to be gone after this year unless we decide to re-sign them all, which might cost us some money. So I think it's good to go out, get a corner early still. Get whoever we get. As long as it's the best player available, that's what I'm going to be happy with in this draft. And I trust the process. So Brad Holmes, keep on cooking up. Let's do this. I'm just so excited as a Lions fan going into this next year, more than ever. Just glad that we did what we did in free agency so far. It sets us up for this draft. It just does. Alrighty. We got some guys saying see you later. Braylon, I'll see you later if you're out of here already. But yeah, if you get Cansey, Tyree Wilson, Calais Campbell, your D-line is looking scary now. You're right, Lions Mania. I mean, that's set. Then we're set. We went from one of the worst defenses to start off the year last year, and I know we finished stronger, to looking like one of the better ones, especially in the NFC North. And if we can keep our offense as potent as it was last year, then we're going to be looking great. I would definitely expect us, just like Vegas does, to win the North. And I hope that we just keep making these moves. Competition's not a bad thing. Bring in all the best players. Who cares if we got a guy here who you think is the best guy? Bring in another one. Because then it's going to make him work harder, because then he's like, oh, man, he might start over me. And then they work harder. It's all good. It's all good things, bringing in as much talent as possible. Aleem McNeil, yeah, he's there too. He's already solid. And I think that this year he needs to have a much better year. I know that he was good last year. And the year before he showed flashes as a rookie. But, I think this is the year that Aleem needs to step up and be an elite interior defensive lineman like we know that he could be. A lot of the other teams, when we drafted him, were mad that we got him. So come out here and prove us right to why we got you, Aleem. I love the dream. I listen to your music. So come out here and be the beast that you are this year, Aleem. Would love it. All right, here we go. Our offense was good because we had balance. We lost that with Shark and Maul. Need to find those pieces. J-Mo and Montgomery. That's all I got to say. J-Mo's going to have a big year this year. Montgomery's going to come in, and you're going to see what this guy is made of. I love Jamal Williams. I know last week I went a little harsh on him, which I'm sorry about Jamal. We're moving on, though. Montgomery's the guy. Montgomery will be that guy. He may not be the fiery guy that everybody likes that's going to be, I'm mad because of that record, on Hard Knocks and all that. But Montgomery, he's going to be the man. We played against him. He's caused so much trouble for our defense in the past. Now he's on our side. So that right there is the replacement for Maul already to me. And if J-Mo can step up and be the guy that we drafted at 12 to be like he should be, then we're going to be just fine there too. A 12 overall pick at wide receiver should be filling the shoes for Shark. No problem. I know a lot of people are scared. Don't be scared. Trust the process. We got this, guys. All right, that's going to do it for me this week. I hope that you guys enjoy the rest of your week. I will be back here just like every Tuesday, next Tuesday at 5 p.m. Detroit time, 4 p.m. Central, 2 p.m. West Coast. Until next time, everybody. Peace.
Touchdown, Detroit Lions!